Oh, I'm just gonna do audio because I can't hold the phone and look flip through these papers at the same time. I don't cry often. I don't cry often. I'm pretty tough, but I'm looking at these papers. I'm looking through these pharmacy records, and it makes me so sad what they did to me. Part of my story is I was oh, over medicated for years, and I didn't understand. You know, uh, look up the two words prescribing cascade. See what that means. It means they start you on one medication and then another and then another, and then you're having all these side effects from the medications, but the side effects are being misdiagnosed as health issues, physical health issues, or mental health issues, or, anxiety or depression or ADHD or PMDD. All these things are getting diagnosed as new disorders, but they're actually drug side effects. And you end up on more and more medications. And also, one of the biggest things that they did to me was overprescribe sedatives and sleeping pills because they were misdiagnosing my sleep apnea and airway issues for decades. And, you know, I was 100% uneducated. And, you know, everybody thinks that the internet has always been around and we always had access to this information, and that's not true at all. um the internet is still relatively new. If you're my age, the internet and this access to mass information is still relatively new. Like 15 years ago, you couldn't look up a drug name and find the truth. You couldn't just be a regular person and access the truth like you can now. um 10, 15 years ago. And anyways, I'm reading through what they did was, they were misdiagnosing my sleep issues as anxiety or no, well, I was having sleeping issues for decades, and it was always being misdiagnosed. My sleep issues were always being misdiagnosed. And then, like, I started asking for help at about 15 years old. Um, and at 25 years old, they had me on, at that age, they put me on, one or two medications already. Uh, they were giving me lorazepam like crazy, and like 4 to 6 lorazepam a day for anxiety. And even back then at 15 years old, I would sleep with my hand under my chin, not understanding that I'm trying to actually physically help myself, trying to open my airway by holding my hand under there, not understanding that there was something physically wrong. And then by and they had me on a sleep medication, and that's insane, right? To put somebody that young on a sleep medication, and an antidepressant. And then by 25 years old, I got braces put on my teeth, and what they did was remove what the orthodontist did was remove way too many teeth. 9 teeth were pulled, and they made my jaw, my bite smaller, and they moved my jaw back, and all for cosmetic reasons, with absolutely no regard to breathing or sleep or airway issues, right? Like, they never asked me, "Are you a mouth breather?" Nobody should be having braces put on their teeth or extensive work done in their mouth, without asking important questions like, "Are you a mouth breather?" And if you're a mouth breather, they need to determine why you're a mouth breather and not make the issue worse for you. What they literally did, or the orthodontist made my sleep issues worse, made my airway issue worse, moved my jaw back further, and right away I was in further crisis. So I got these braces put on my teeth. I'm working full time. I'm 25 years old. I'm working at a university, and I'm in crisis, and I don't know why. And all of a sudden, my sleep got even worse. Immediately, it was misdiagnosed as a mental health issue. Immediately, this guy is trying to talk me into, fit me in this pigeonhole so that it's a mental health issue. I knew I was being misdiagnosed. I knew I was being misdiagnosed. And God, what a horrific position to be in when you're uneducated, you're powerless, you're young, and you're at the mercy of doctors. And you know that the doctors, the doctor is misdiagnosing you. You think in your mind that your family doctor is going to protect you from this. Oh no. I didn't find out till, only a couple of years ago that family doctors are supposed to stay in their own lane and not speak up. If a psychiatrist is, when a family doctor doesn't know what to do with you and you're in crisis, the default for chronic illnesses as well, the default is psychiatry. And if a psychiatrist is misdiagnosing you, these family doctors are warned to stay in your own lane and do not speak up, even if you think that the person is being misdiagnosed. You would be really, really lucky if your family doctor stepped out of line and decided to defend you and protect you from a psychiatrist, because that's generally not the way it works. And the general public doesn't know that they're warned to stay in their own lane. So your family doctor can be watching you be made sicker and sicker. Your family doctor might strongly feel that you're being misdiagnosed. Your family doctor might be disgusted watching you be overmedicated. And in my opinion, they're partaking in that failure and misdiagnosis and negligence. But that's the way the system works. They're supposed to keep their mouth shut. And so this just went on and on. And I knew I was being misdiagnosed, completely powerless, right? Totally uneducated. And, I'm medicated, right? Like, the more medicated you are, the less, ability you're going to have to advocate for yourself. I was 25 years old and uneducated, right? No family to fight for me. My family's watching this. No one, I don't even want to go down there. Like, your family should be watching you, watching your behavior, protecting you, asking questions about medications. The problem is that, families are uneducated. Maybe your family's dysfunctional, you know, and, society in general kind of has been led to have faith in the system and faith in psychiatry. Uh, you know, man, when you find out otherwise, you know, but and I'm, vulnerable, and I'm being coerced, and like I've got no other choice of where to turn to. Where do you go when they've got it wrong? You're you know pretty powerless when you have no family defending you, and just more and more medications, and you know and then I left that doctor. I go to find another doctor. Same thing. The other doctor takes the other doctor's word for it that they got it correct, and continues to medicate you and you know coerce you and frighten you into staying on the medications, and more sleep medications, and I'm sleepwalking and I'm sleep eating. No one can figure out why. Decades of sleepwalking and sleep eating, and that's being caused by prescribing. That's being caused by the medications. And here, I'm going to just read you some of these medications. I picked this up last night from the drugstore, and it makes me so sad what they were doing to me. And I'm also having troubles breathing, right? While they're doing this to me, I'm having troubles breathing. And by the way, just a side note, yes, I do have Chiari. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So I don't know. So here, let me read you what some of the things they had me on at the same time, right? Prednisone. The more sedatives they had me on, the more trouble I was having breathing. But I didn't make this connection because I didn't understand what was happening. And they would have me on more and more asthma inhalers and prednisone on and off. So here is, let me look through this. Chronic sinus infections.